This tutorial shows you how to test for the best nucleotide substitution model in your population genetic data using jModelTest2. This tutorial assumes you are using Ubuntu Linux version 20.04 as your operating system. If you do not have Linux, you can emulate it on your Windows or Mac computer for free. See the show notes for details. In fact, I am emulating Linux right now on my Mac computer using VirtualBox. Speaking of which, I have a VirtualBox virtual machine pre-configured with the software I will show you today, as well as other population genetics and ecological niche modeling software. See the show notes below for step-by-step instructions to download and hook up this virtual machine within your Windows or Mac computer. A caveat: VirtualBox has updated to version 6.1. This version does not work with Ubuntu Linux on a Mac computer unless you are running as root. That is all to say that you should download VirtualBox version 6.0 rather than VirtualBox version 6.1. If you are already using VirtualBox on a Mac and it is asking you to update to version 6.1, do not update to version 6.1. In the show notes below, I provide a link to download version 6.0 instead, which is what I am using right now and which works. This tutorial assumes you have already installed Open Java, which is called Open JDK version 1.1, as well as jModelTest2. See below in the show notes for instructions. Or you can simply use the pre-configured virtual machine I referenced earlier, which has all of the software pre-installed. The first thing to do is open a web browser and navigate to my website, joshbanta.com. Next, click on Tutorials. Next, scroll down until you find the section that says How to Test for the Correct Nucleotide Substitution Model using jModelTest2. Click on Files Needed for Tutorial. Wait until the page has completed loading and then click the Download button. Select Direct Download. The download has completed. We can close the browser window. Open up File Explorer, which is pinned to My Favorites, or which you can find by searching below. Navigate to the Downloads folder. Double-click on the file we just downloaded. Click back on File Explorer. Navigate to the desktop of File Explorer. Now click back on the Archive Manager software and find the Jmodel Test folder. This folder is in a compressed zip archive. We need to unzip the folder in order to be able to utilize it. To do so, we take the folder from within the zipped archive and we drag it over to the desktop. Now the folder has been unzipped and is ready for use. Close the Archive Manager software. We are now ready to run Jmodel Test. Open up a terminal window, which I have pinned to My Favorites or which you can find by searching below. We need to change the version of Java that will be used to run Jmodel Test. To do that, we type sudo update-alternatives --config Java. See the show notes below for the code. Press Enter. You'll be prompted for your password. You will see that there are multiple versions of Java installed. We do not want to use JRE 1.8.0 or similar, which is the one that is being used right now as marked with an asterisk. We want to use Open Java, which on my computer is listed down here as number 2. Ignore what's listed under 0. Choose between the other numeric options and find the one that has Open JDK in the title. So in our case, we need to change to choice number 2. Press enter. Now let's run JModelTest. To do so, we simply type jModelTest, all lowercase, and press enter. Next, we need to load our data file that has our genetic sequence data. Go to File, Load DNA Alignment. Navigate to your desktop. Then navigate to the JModelTest folder and navigate into the Example Data folder. Scroll down to this file right here, Gusanos 16S mafft.fas. This file is genetic data in the FASTA format. I have tutorials that show you how to convert your data from different genetic formats between one another. But other formats are allowed by JModelTest as well. With that file highlighted, press OK. Once that file is loaded, choose Analysis and Compute Likelihood Scores. We will leave all of the defaults, but you can explore using the manual whether for your own data you would want to change some of these defaults to suit your purposes. Press Compute Likelihood. You will see this window indicating that the JModelTest is running. The analysis took about 19 minutes to run on my virtual machine. Your time may vary. Now we have to see which model of sequence evolution is the best. From the Analysis tab, choose Do BIC Calculations. We're going to be using Bayesian information criteria, but Ikake information criteria are also popular. Leave all the defaults, unless you know that you have some reason to alter them. Click Do BIC Calculations. Next, from the Results tab, select Show Results Table. Now click on the BIC tab at the top. What we need to do now is sort the data so that the model with the lowest BIC value appears at the top of our list. To do that, click on the box that says BIC. For the purposes of JModelTest and for using Bayesian information criteria, you want to go with the lowest BIC value, not the highest. The lowest BIC value in this case is the one that's highlighted in red. And so that shows you the model of sequence evolution that you would use in your phylogenetic analysis or other subsequent genetic analysis. You are now finished, but one final note. When doing this on your own real data, you would want to run JModelTest on your data about 3 times. And then you would want to compare the results among the 3 different runs, because you can get different answers every time you run JModelTest, depending upon the variability in your data set. So verify that you always end up with the same model of sequence evolution as having the lowest BIC value. If not, if there's different models that show up as the best sequence model among your 3 runs, go with the model of evolution that is the simplest. And what do I mean by the simplest? I mean, go by the model of sequence evolution that has the fewest parameters. So if there was another model that was sometimes coming up as the best, that was just HKY by itself, then you would use that one. Otherwise, you would go with this one and you are finished.